Hey there HNDs, so today we have the Sony HVR-HD1000E, and as you can see, this thing is an absolute unit. If in the HNC you use the HVR-HD1000E, this is kind of a similar setup but a lot easier to use. As you'll be able to see, you've still got the Atmos on top, so that's your recording unit, and the settings got to match up, the same story as the HVR-1000E. So yeah, let's get into it then, and I'll show you how this one works. Alright, so this is essentially the full thing disassembled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this aside now. I'm just going to talk about the camera just for a second. So usually the microphone isn't already on the camera, but we leave the microphone in this camera for a reason, because this camera doesn't have an XLR port on it. The microphone is actually a mini jack port. So we just leave the microphone plugged in so it can't go anywhere, so it doesn't get lost. So similar to the V1E, if you've already watched that, the battery goes in the back. Pin side down, slide it in, and to take it out, don't just yank it out, you've got a little notch up there. Push in the notch and the battery just slides out. Bring it back around to the front. So similar to the V1E as well, this can take tape, but let's not delve in the realm of 1990s, shall we? Let's keep it digital. So don't even bother with tapes. Book yourself out a Ninja and use that. Don't even bother with the tape aspect of it. So because we're not bothering with tape, that means the record buttons, one up here on top, the red button, and one in the back here, does not apply anymore, because that is to record onto tape. Use a Ninja blade just for ease. Same as for the V1E as well. Make sure inside the Ninja blades, inside the case of the SSD, there's an SSD inside it. Just make sure that you see some ports in there, and that way you know there's an SSD inside it. Sometimes there isn't one and it's just a casing. Just same as the V1E. What I would do is I would coil up your cable around the handle, keeping it as far back to the back as possible. You just coil it up, just try and keep it out of the way when you're filming. Alright. So your input, there's a little window here, and your HDMI is down at the bottom. Okay. Just going to take my cable and plug it in there for now. You'll see as well that there's actually also an SD card in there. This camera can take photos as well. The photos saves to the SD card, but no video saves to the SD card, unfortunately, so that's why we need to use the Atmos. And just same for any attachment to a camera, you make sure this little bit here is unscrolled so you can slide into your housing, tighten it up, don't overly tighten it, so then you'll struggle to take it off. And what we want to do is we want to loosen this here so that we have free movement on this top attachment. Make sure your Ninja is the proper way up, and screw your Ninja into the thread of your attachment. Once it's in, make sure to tighten, set the Atmos to where you want it to be. I'm going to have it facing myself, and tighten up this bit here so it can't move. To power on that Atmos, you've got a little button here. Press and hold that for 3-4 seconds, then let go, give it a minute. Make sure that your power is in power socket 1, or make sure you get one in each, power socket 1 and 2. Now that your Atmos is rigged up, take your HDMI cable that's already plugged into the camera And you'll see in this Atmos here, you've actually got an in and an out labelled, alright? The top one is in, okay? So you want to plug it in so that you're taking the feed from the camera and inputting it into the Atmos, okay? So make sure it's plugged into the in position. That's some good signal flow knowledge there as well. Again, similar to the V1E, your on switch is down here. So this one here, you've actually got about 4 settings, okay? The only one that we're interested in is the on and off, which off is the second one from the top, and to turn it on, you can go down to tape or memory. You'll notice as well, there's actually a little green, it's really hard to tell, but you've got a little green button here. You need to push that little green button in to be able to turn this, otherwise it locks. So push that in to turn it, alright? So you'll probably see that as well, once it's turned on, your Atmos will automatically rig up. I apologise for the framing of this shot, we are running on a very tight space, okay? With this camera, it is quite heavy, so please do not strain yourself when using it, just take your time, okay? The way this camera is meant to be used is up on the shoulder, like so, and up there like that, alright? This hand here controls your zoom in, push it away, zoom out, push it in closer to you. As you'll see here, as you'll see here, zoom in, zoom out. Maybe a little bit difficult to see there because it's all white round about me. That also applies to this little guy up here. This little one up here, although this is a lot slower of a zoom in and a zoom out. It's a lot more gentle, okay? Anyway. And you may be wondering, where is the menu buttons on this thing? Okay, there is no buttons on it. The only buttons that's on it is around here at the side, which we don't really worry about anyway. Alright, so to access the buttons in this thing, you've got a viewfinder here, but also you switch this open here, alright? And it might surprise you because this thing here is ancient. You'll be able to tell that just by the looks of it, but this is a touch screen. Mind baffling, eh? So hit no to that, press again, and here you've got all your things. Get to your menu, and this is where you change the settings of the camera. Okay? So I'm not going to go into that because I'm not going to have you try and stare at a tiny little screen. Just book out, if you're going to use it, book it out and figure it out. I'm afraid. Alright. So essentially, yeah, this is just sort of good to go. The main thing is, do not strain yourself. When you're wanting to record, rather than pressing the record button, you press record here on the Atmos. Simple as that. Alright, so that's now taking the feed from the camera, and whatever I'm moving this to is going to record into the SSD. When you want to stop recording, just hit stop. Simple as that. That's your footage took. If you want to watch it back, get into play, and it'll take a little second to load up. And there's our footage right there. Okay. And to de-rig the system, follow the rig up instructions, just do it in reverse. So that's going to cover it for the basic tutorial on this camera. Hopefully you'll be able to tell that it looks like a beast, but it's actually fairly easy to use. Even though it's a bit outdated, it's still usable, okay? So just know this is always an alternative if the camera that you wanted isn't there. And also learning about this will do you in good stead as well for the Panasonic 4K. Alright, so thank you very much for watching.